Ian Rapoport, national NFL reporter, NFL. This is from NFL Game Day. Who could be the third quarterback taken in the draft, and what range does he sneak into relative to what round?
I was in Mobile, I was watching the practices. Jaxson Dart, the Ole Miss quarterback, seemed to have a really good couple days. And to me, based on the people I've spoken with, seems right now to have maybe the inside track, I would say, to be the third quarterback taken. You talk to the scouts, talk to the general managers, where does he fit in? They say, probably somewhere in, middle of the first round. Okay, well, we've seen this before. If you're middle of the first round now, by the time we get to the draft, when it's the quarterback-needy teams, you're probably a little higher. We've seen all these guys get pushed up. This time last year, Bo Nix was being talked about as a second rounder, and he went 12. So we know the quarterbacks always go much earlier. Really solid week in Mobile for Jaxson Dart. And we're going to get to Indianapolis before we know it. And you're going to see some of the other guys who are in competition for that, the Quinn Ewers and Will Howard. I mean, it's going to be intriguing how this all plots out.
Yeah, and we heard from Dart earlier in the show, G. Bush. He's looked good. The knock against him was a gimmicky offense, but it was a gimmicky offense run by an NFL guy in Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. You could go back to his junior year, and they ran the ball a lot with the quarterback and different things, and he was on the same team as Quinshon Judkins, and I thought it was kind of a zonky little offense. But make no bones about it, you go back and watch this tape from this year, listen, he's making throws. I mean, these throws is on the money. Go back. I watched the bowl game. I believe they played Duke, and he was on the money the whole time. I mean, my dad called me and said, "Hey man, who's this Jaxson Dart guy? It's nice." I said, "Yeah, man." I had to go back. I had to take a look at him back at USC to see if it's like, where did this guy come from? Transfer from USC, goes out to Ole Miss, and one thing that you can't deny, he's played top-notch talent. He's playing the Georgias. He's playing the Alabamas. He's playing the Floridas and the SEC. He's playing in that conference, and he's a good athlete. If you ask me, he's a better athlete than Shedeur Sanders. He's pretty good at everything. He has good arm strength, good accuracy, good athleticism. He's a good decision maker. Good leader. Like, I think he is just overall, he's one of those guys you can really fall in love with, because you start to see, like, man, this guy, sometimes when you're just good at everything, sometimes you're underrated a little bit. Like, case in point, Jalen Milroe. This is, to me, he's the Anthony Richardson of this draft. Anthony Richardson had way worse tape than Jalen Milroe. Anthony Richardson had way less competition and played way less downs as a college quarterback. And you see, he went in the first round, right? When they see them 40-yard times, I think you're gonna see Jalen Milroe moved up from where he should be, probably a fourth or fifth rounder. So I think he's a guarantee to go in the top 2 rounds just off the physical traits. Somebody's going to convince themselves that they are the quarterback whisperer that can get it done. But for me, right now, I've always felt Jaxson Dart is, people say third round, he'll never make it that far. He's going to be in the first round. I said it weeks ago. He's going to be a third quarterback taken off the board. And do not be surprised. Let me tell you this right now. This is a bombshell. Guys, do not be surprised if a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers says, "Hey, we had Big Ben before. What about Will Howard? What about Will Howard later on?" And the Steelers, that's what they need. He's fiery. He's a big kid, good arm. He'll fit right in the Rust Belt. And I'm telling you, if you're banking on getting Will Howard, teams like Seattle, teams in the back of the draft, the first round, early second, he's not going to be available. I'm letting you that right now. There's going to be 4 quarterbacks taken. It's just about who it will be at the third and fourth quarterback positions.
Yeah, I'm with you. And the one thing about Jaxson Dart, we've seen it in Senior Bowl practices. I saw it. I watched the same bowl game you referenced. Wears out the middle of the field, and he's accurate throwing into coverage in the middle of the field. That plays to tight ends, and that'll play with slot receivers and everything in the NFL. A lot of accuracy middle of the field for Dart.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Especially the way you like to play. Watch where Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and those guys, they kill you in the middle of the field with those tight ends and vertical routes. He's very accurate. I think he's a good prospect, and I think he'll go early.